Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Happy Monday! Happy day after Sister Wives! Yay! Alright, just kidding. Good morning everyone, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. We are going to talk about a story related to the latest episode of Sister Wives. But before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe down here to my channel if you like this kind of content. Also, make sure you turn on the notifications by ringing the bell. And if you are interested in becoming a member, make sure you check my description and help support the channel so we can deliver more amazing content for you every single day. All right, you guys. So last night was episode 3 of season 14 of the Brown family shenanigans. And this episode was super depressing. Can we just say I wanted to crawl underneath a table and cry with a box of Kleenex. Except I don't really cry about this kind of stuff. So I mostly just felt sad. And then I was like wanting to get Meri to leave the family. But let's talk about what happened. So last night's episode was called Lonely in Flagstaff. And the families all were talking about how far apart they live from one another. But the biggest news was that Miss Meri Brown had found a rental of a bajillion square feet on a hill. And it's a beautiful home, but it's a lot of house for one person. And she is packing up and leaving and getting ready to go to Vegas. The whole family is in Vegas to help her move. Several of the family members sort of help pack and move things into a large truck. They note that there are several things that have changed in the properties since they left. Christine and her daughters all go look at their house and notice a wall in between her and Janelle's home, which gives them a case of the sads. And they talk about all of the great times they had on the cul-de-sac. She actually said that being in Vegas by herself was easier than being in Flagstaff with the family. Yikes. Apparently, Meri is not super happy in her marriage. Did you hear that? Yeah, we've been talking about that for a long time. And that strain has made it difficult for her to enjoy being around her family because she doesn't like to see Kody with the other ladies, if you know what I'm saying. So as they get into Flagstaff with this massive behemoth of a truck, they have a hard time getting it pulled up the driveway because it's like on a curve and the truck is ginormous. And as they finally get into the house, Meri has a humongous surprise and she's like, look, I have an elevator. Yay! That's right. The house is so big. It has an elevator. There are 4 floors. There's a water feature. There's a humongous master great room. And Kody notes that there's 2 master bedrooms, and this home would have been a dream for their family years ago when the kids were all little. 2 masters, man. Who would have been what of the 3 wives at that time would have been relegated to the not master? Would it have been Christine, Janelle, Meri? Meri was still Meri was still a favorite back then. Okay, so I'm so sassy today. All right, so they are looking at all the different parts of the house. They are like eyeing and oohing and cooing about how large it is. There's a ton of stairs. They are moving stuff in slowly but surely. And then, Meri is sort of talking about how her relationship with Kody is, Kody says it's not progressing. And Meri admits that the relationship is not moving at the speed that she would like it to, and that she feels hopeless in her marriage at times because she doesn't know if things will get better. Kody then admits that they're not even living together. So the strain between them has gotten so great that Kody no longer spends any time at Meri's home, doesn't go to her house. They don't see each other very frequently because he's bebopping between the other three wives. If this is the case, this is an absolute shunning of Meri. And if it's not apparent that she's been shunned here, it's more apparent when the four wives meet up for lunch and Meri is sitting with them in this weird sort of cafe bistro that's in a home, and they're in this attic room. It's kind of bizarre, but it's quaint and cute and perfect for a quiet, private conversation. And Meri, talks about how she needs to move stuff in and she hasn't had any help because she's all alone. And then the sister wives are kind of like, hire someone. We'll hire you someone. We'll hire you someone. And Mary's just like, but I'm always alone. I'm always alone. I want to be with my family. I want to be with my family. And then all the ladies start talking about how far apart they are from each other. Like Janelle is a half an hour from Christine, 15 minutes from Robin, 15 minutes from Meri. They're so spread out that they literally never see each other. And it's making them all feel depressed, alone, not connected as a family. Janelle and Christine admit they've met once to go walking, but they also say that Meri hasn't reached out to them, that they would gladly help Meri move in, Christine's two daughters would help, but Meri never reaches out. And Meri admits that she is pulling away from the family because she needs to, because it's too hard for her to see Kody in his relationships with the other women, and it makes her upset to see their happiness. And they then sort of dance around the topic. They don't really ask her any questions, and it gets super awkward from there. Robin gets super emotional, and everything else is what it is. That's what I'm saying, okay? So basically the sister wives don't want to help her move. They want to help her, buy someone. But yet then they're at the same breath, they're saying they're going to hire someone to move her in. Janelle's also bitching about how they have a zillion mortgages, 4 million rentals, and all these double utilities. So they have all these monies that are going to make them broke, and then they also have money to move them in. And apparently this is the best deal in the world because the sister wives make the best financial decisions all the time. So then Robin gets emotional because she says that Miss Meri is not alone, is never alone because she has her, she's a friend. But then they also admit they never talk to each other. So here's the thing. I am convinced 100% the sister wives don't give a flying F about Meri. Meri doesn't give a flying F about the sister wives. And I actually don't think the sister wives even like each other. I think maybe Christine and Janelle like each other, and maybe Robin and Meri like each other, but as a foursome, they ain't friends. And it's clear as day. Like, the misery in this family is so apparent in this season that you can't even hide the fact that they don't like each other. Kody, for his part, has these terse, angry looks on his face consistently throughout the show, and he is Mr. I don't know. He's on one breath saying how much he loves Janelle loves plural marriage, and he loves plural marriage, and everything is amazing, but then as they're all sitting around, they're all and they're not going deep. They're not saying anything. They never talk. This is going to go great. Okay. So then at the very end of the show, Kody meets up with one of his friends, and he shows them a rendering of this really large home that he has planned and built, or he wants to build on their Coyote Pass property. And the home is rendered, and they have this beautiful picture, and he shows that they have a center of the house that would be Kody's main quarters, where it would have its own kitchen, so the women wouldn't feel like anyone is encroaching on their kitchens. They would have its own living space. It would be the main place for the families to all congregate. And then each wife would have their separate sort of house within the house that is their own, so they don't feel like they have to share kitchens. Now, the house is ginormous, but it's notable on the rendering that Meri's section of the home is a lot smaller. Again, all signs indicate to Meri's been shunned. So, my thoughts after watching this episode is everyone pretty much hates Meri. Meri hates everybody else, and nobody's happy. And Meri needs to leave. But it's likely that Meri is scared to leave because by leaving the family, she would actually have to leave her entire community of polygamists, as well as likely be shunned from her community for leaving Kody. So basically, she's already lost her family, but then she would lose her community. So then she would have no loss. So I guess she just stays miserable forever. I don't understand why these people do this to themselves. Life is way too short. I would say, Meri, just run. Just go. Just leave. Nobody wants you to, like, literally Kody is just like over it. You flirt with Kody and Kody's just like, ew. Meri, stop. Meri, that catfish 4 years ago, I'm so over it. I know I have 4 wives and poke a lot of boxes daily, but like the fact that you had the audacity to talk to someone and love them, no. The hypocrisy is thick in the Brown family, let's just say. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Did you watch this episode and feel like as queasy as I did and angry for Meri and annoyed by Robin for pretending like she owns Kody? Because, you know, Robin seemingly speaks for Kody. Because she's just like, Kody is just always really busy. That's just how it is. You could just ask him. Yeah, it's that easy, Robin. And it's very clear that he probably spends most of his time with Robin. Janelle even admits she only sees him a couple times a week. And he barely sees the kids. Dad of the year! All right, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are about this latest episode of Sister Wives. Do you think that Meri will ever be happy? Do you think the Sister Wives will ever be friends? Or do you think the Browns are just fooling everyone for a ticket to fame and cash from TLC? All right, you guys, before you go, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out my social medias listed below. Please follow me on Instagram. I'm almost at 10,000 followers, as well as Twitter at KatyJoyYT and at WOACB official, and on Facebook at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. I will see you later with a little bit more. Bye, guys.